G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Epic just added the Spiderman Mythic to Fortnite and I think it's the greatest item we've ever had added to Fortnite. Not only that, it's also in competitive. So I'm going to give you guys some insane tips like how you can duplicate the Mythic to get it every single game, even in tournaments and arena, and just talk about how I think it's going to fit into the competitive loot pool. Also, Epic just made a huge change to how zones work in Fortnite. This is one of the biggest changes we've seen to zones ever, and not enough people are talking about it, and I think a few people don't even realize how zones are now working. So if you're finding yourself struggling in Fortnite right now and you haven't been paying attention to how zones work, don't worry, I got you at the end of today's video. Let's start off talking about this Spiderman Mythic. This is the best weapon or item we have ever had added to Fortnite. I can say that confidently. I love this item, not because of just how fun it is, because it's actually quite balanced. And let me get to that point as well, because this is now in competitive, and I don't know whether this is a glitch and it's not meant to be in competitive, but I actually want it to stay. And let me explain why that is in a little bit, but I first want to talk about how you actually get the Spiderman Mythic, how you use it, and a very cheeky trick that most people don't seem to know, where you can infinitely duplicate the Mythic so you can have it every single game. Yeah, you heard that right. You could duplicate the Spider-Man gauntlets so you can have them every single game, even if you don't drop on them. So let's start off talking about how you get it. HypeX made a fantastic map. Here it is on the screen right now. This is where you can get the Mythic from. So as you can see, there are a lot of them and they have a very high spawn rate. I heard about 90%, but I don't fully believe that. I think it's more around the 70% mark, which is still really high when most of these locations have 3 or 4. I've been dropping on the bridge right near Coney and there's 3 spawns there. I get one every single game and usually I get 2 or 3, and that's where you get to duplicating them. What you do is when you pick up the Spider-Man Mythic right now, it combines with your existing Mythic. So if you get more than one, which is very, very likely, especially if you're eliminating people with them, you can split it, drop it onto the ground, whatever your split bind is, then pick that one up and go put it in the tent, and your other one will still be sitting on the ground. You can do this as many times as you want as long as you keep picking up Spider-Man Mythic. So if you drop on the bridge near Coney, there's 3 spawns, all 3 of them spawn. All you do, grab the one that you want, leave it on the ground, duplicate it twice, put those both in the tent, and there you go. You've now got 2 for the next game in case you get unlucky or in case you want to drop somewhere else, and it leads to some insane strategies. One of my favorite things to do is leave 2 in the tent. I then drop on the billboard at the new Risky Reels drop, and then all I do now is I just grab my Mythic out of there, even though there's no Mythic spawns there. I'm now on top of the billboard, double chest spawn, and I have guaranteed Spider-Man Mythic every single game. It is so much fun. But this gun and item is in competitive, and how do I feel about that? Well, I actually love it because I think the gun is pretty balanced when it comes to competitive because of one main reason. If you get shot while you're using the Spider-Man Mythic, you will fall, you will take full damage, and you get a 10-second cooldown on the Spider-Man Mythic. So while the item is very, very good for early and mid game, it's very good for pubs and super fun, when it comes to competitive in rotating zones, it's actually not that strong. I hosted a tournament today. I'm hosting a $2,000 tournament with Rematch GG. The finals are actually taking place today. If you want to come watch them on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Aussie Antics. We have all the big guys playing. Clicks is playing with Day. We have Kanata, DJ, and Ages centered. Literally every big name in NA East is playing this tournament. But I was hosting the qualifiers today, the semi-finals. We had active Storm Surge games, and the Spider-Man Mythic wasn't that good end game. Early and mid game, insane. So good for positioning. If you get good at using it like the baller and you build up momentum, it is so fast and amazing. But when it comes to end game, when you think it'd be like a grappler just teleporting across zone, quite often it either leads you to get boxed up because you have to have that really long swing animation, or you get shot out of the sky, you take a whole bunch of fall damage, and then you're stuck and you can't use it anyway. So while it's a good item, I don't think it's anywhere near as broken as what people thought it was going to be. Like if you gave me the chance to have a full stack 80 use Mythic Spider-Man in endgame, or you gave me the chance to have just a regular grappler with 10 uses, I'll take the grappler a million times out of a million, because that instantly pushes you forward with full momentum. When it comes to Spider-Man Mythic, you kind of do like a really long web sling. You don't have that instant like kind of teleport. So while it's still pretty good for taking high ground, and it is still good in endgame if you use it properly, I kind of liken it to the inflatable. Yeah, it's really, really strong, but if you use it poorly and people are smart, and they shoot at you, you're gonna die or it's gonna put you in a really bad spot. So it's a strong item, but I think it is quite balanced. I would love to see this item stay in competitive, not just because of tournaments, because of arena. It is so much fun. This is what I was talking about. You guys yesterday said in the comments of my video, Aussie, you said you wanted mythics like chapter 2 season 2, you got them and then you complained. So I was talking about the SMG that is going to do 288 DPS. It's going to kill you from 200 health in half a second. That I'm complaining about because, like I said, just giving buffed weapons is really boring. It's not fun. This Spider-Man Mythic is one of the most fun and I truly think really balanced items we've had in a long time. If you have good aim and someone tries to run away with a Spider-Man Mythic, you shoot them out of the sky, they either die to fall damage or they're there, you chase them down and you kill them. I would say this is so much more fun and so much more balanced than the Shockwave Launcher. In pubs last season, Shockwave Launcher was obnoxious. People would just run constantly. Yeah, the Spider-Man Mythic, you can run with it, but it's really hard to build momentum. It's very situational if there's not trees around, and if you get shot, which is quite easy because it's a very, very predictable swinging motion, it counters it completely. I love this item. It's still going to take a while longer to see if maybe I change my mind. It could be something that once the pros learn how to use it better, they'll come up with some crazy strats and exploits that I don't know about. But right now, all I know is this is the most fun item. It's super, super good for pubs. You go for trick shots, you go crazy fun kills, but I don't think it's super broken. When I fight someone with a Spider-Man Mythic and I don't have it, it's not that powerful. Just box up, and if they try to go for high ground above you, you either hit them with a clean shot while they're swinging, or you put a roof on your head and there's nothing they can do. If you get someone low and they try to run, as long as you hit your shots, they go down. I really don't think it's an obnoxious item, and it's so insane to me that Epic just added this on a random night. Like, we were talking coming into chapter 3 about how big 2022 was going to be for Fortnite. We're not even in 2022 yet, and Epic is already turning up the heat. Remember chapter 2 season 1? It was like a 100-day season or something ridiculous, and all we got was Harpoon Gun. That's the one addition we had. We had the Harpoon Gun added to Fortnite in the entire season. Now we have a Spider-Man Mythic, which lets you swing and jump around and honestly feels as fluid and as good as if it was straight out of a designated Spider-Man game. And we're only like less than 2 weeks into the season, and you can grab loot with it just like a harpoon. It's honestly crazy. I'm so happy Epic is already turning up the heat for Fortnite. If Epic keeps bringing updates like this and keeps putting in this level of effort, Fortnite in 2022 is going to take over again. It is going to be back on top, and we still have tornadoes coming, lightning storms, we have the dinosaur Terry coming. Like, man, if this is a sign of things to come, this wasn't even a full update night. Epic was like, here you go, just have the Spider-Man Mythic. Hope you enjoy one of the coolest items ever added to any game. I talked about this in a video recently, but after now watching the qualifiers of my tournaments and watching a lot of games and really getting a grasp on it, I might talk about this more in tomorrow's video after the finals of my games because they'll be even more stacked. But I absolutely love this change that Epic Games has made to zones. If you guys don't know, Fortnite's now changed the way that rotating zones work in competitive. They have the option to pull further, but they take longer. So that means the zones now go further away, but they take longer to get there, which means that rotating zones now move way slower, and it gives you time to make more plays and go for more refreshes that you now need to go for because the zone is pulling so much further away. It's really interesting. It's massively reduced heal offs, and honestly, it's made endgames for me so much more exciting to watch. It means you have to look for fights and you have to play smart in the endgame, but it gives you that bit more breathing room and time to do so. I guarantee if you start watching some of the tournaments, again, another plug, come watch the finals of my tournament on my Twitch channel. I'll show you how much better this is for the game and how much more enjoyable it is. It's really, really exciting, and it also means the high ground isn't as powerful as it used to be. Just pulling a good half and first rotating zone doesn't guarantee you the win anymore, because if you're on high ground, you run out of materials so much quicker because zone keeps pulling. You need to find refreshes. You need to play aggressive even on high ground to keep the high ground. Of course, with Spider-Man Mythic being able to grab material like harpoons, that would probably help a lot, but with players now using the Mythics to go for high ground, it's going to be really exciting. But it looks like low ground now runs the house because low ground doesn't need as many materials but finds more refreshes. But again, low ground only works if you're playing smart, you're playing aggressive, and you're getting the refreshes. I truly think this is a fantastic change from Epic, and it was one that I didn't expect. I didn't think they were going to change anything that fundamental with the game, and I'm glad that it seems like a lot of pros agree. Some people Not too happy about it. I saw Mira making a complaint about it early on, but I think pros, when they start to realize and start to adapt to it, they will actually enjoy it because it's going to increase the skill gap. It's not going to let people just sit in backer zone and play med kits and go for heal offs and never actually fight anyone on rotating zones. It's going to reward those people who know how to play rotating zone, know how to get good refreshes and keep playing them well. I'm very excited to see how this plays out in the future, but like anything, I might change my mind. Maybe we'll see as it plays out in set lobbies. It could end up being worse, but at this point, my initial thoughts, I love it. I was talking about all the mythics being added yesterday. I talked about how there might be some kind of like mythic pump shotgun being added to the game, which would be amazing. We do have confirmation it's going to be the mythic striker shotgun, and Hypex released the stats on this. It does 110 body damage, headshot does 182. It has a faster reload and a tighter spread. But when you compare it to the legendary striker shotgun, it's not that exciting. It'll be fun and hopefully it'll be consistent. It'll be good. It's not like a gold spaz though, and honestly, still compared to the mythic SMG that I'm still terrified of, it's not that powerful. But I wanted to update you guys and let you know that it is coming to the game. The stats look pretty cool and it'll feel good when you have it, but it won't feel like the mythic SMG. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed. If you did, please chuck a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.